Hi, and welcome to Miss L Teacher Resources. I'm Miss L, and today we're going to do a video introducing psychology. This video is aimed at your junior school, high school students, year 8, year 9, who have never looked at psychology before but have done some science and are interested in exploring what this topic is. In this video, this first video, we're going to just have a look at what psychology is. So we're going to explore, and hopefully by the end of this video, you'll be able to just describe to someone what psychology is. Down below, if you have a look, there's a link to my TPT store, which has a booklet of the worksheets that you can use to write and do the activities relating to video 1 and video 2 for the introduction to psychology. It's completely free at the moment. However, if you don't want to download and print it, you can just use a workbook to write your notes and draw the pictures, or just listen. That's up to you. So, what is psychology? So what I want you to do on a piece of paper is to just take a minute and think about what you think psychology is. What does it relate to? Where does it come from? But what do you think psychology is? This is a good time to pause the video before we move on. All right, so what psychology is. This is the definition of psychology that I would advise you to write down. So psychology is the scientific study. So the ology part of this word here is talking about the study of something. So psychology is a scientific study of human behavior and mental processes. So there are two main components for psychology that we have a look at and study. But it is important to know what these two words mean. So, behavior is talking about an action made by a living person or animal, but an action that can be observed, so that's seen, so something that you can see, or it can be measured. So you have to be able to see it. It usually happens on the outside. If you can't physically see it, then you're able to measure it in some way. We're going to have a look at some examples in a minute. The second one here is mental processes. So this is anything that can take place inside your head. So have a think about what that includes. These things, though, aren't measurable and can't be seen. So when we're looking at mental processes here, we cannot actually see them happening. So you're thinking, you're feeling, when you're remembering or even learning are things that are happening inside your brain, but you can't see them. You can't observe them in any way. Behavior, on the other hand, can be seen or observed, so or measured. Sorry. So walking and talking, they're things that you can physically see. Other things that are happening that can be measured would be like your heartbeat. So that's something that you can directly measure. It is a behavior or something that happens. Breathing, yeah, they are behaviors and things that are happening to you that you can actually observe and measure. All right, so this is a quick small activity that we're going to do together, just to make sure that you understand the difference between a behavior, so something that can be seen, something that can be observed, and a mental process, so anything that's happening that inside of your brain that can't be seen. So we're going to do the first few together, and then I'll give you a chance to have a think about the bottom ones before I go through the answers. So first one is whistling out loud. So whistling, is that something that you can see? The answer is yes. That is going to be a behavior because we can see that happening. Deciding whether to shoot for a goal or pass to a teammate. So this word here, deciding. So deciding is something that's happening inside of your brain. It is something that can't be seen. You can't see someone deciding to do something. So therefore, it's going to be a mental process. Starting to feel excited about going to a party. So being excited is an emotion. Again, that's not something that you can see on the outside or measure. Therefore, it's going to be a mental process. Looking at yourself in a mirror, can you see someone looking at themselves? You can. Therefore, it's going to be a behavior. Breathing, can you see someone breathing? Can you measure someone breathing? Yes, then that's going to be a behavior. What I want you to do now is I want you to pause the video. There are a few more things down here. I want you to see if you can figure out whether they're a behavior or a mental process. And then I'm going to give you all the answers. All right, so here are the answers. It'll be interesting to see how you go. Hopefully, you will understand the difference. Again, a behavior can be seen and observed and measured, and a mental process is stuff that's happening in here. You can't see it. You can't physically measure it or see what's going on. All right, now what I want you to do is either in the booklet that you've printed or even on a piece of paper, if you're writing, is to write a description of the two terms that we've just done. So if you need to go back in the video to be able to write them down, I want you to write down what does it mean by a behavior, what does it mean by a mental process, and then give 3 examples, 3 that make sense to you, at least three behaviors, running, whatever it is, breathing, and 3 examples of a mental process that makes sense to you. Again, take a minute to pause the video or even go back so that you can get this written down or making sure that you understand what it is. All right, hopefully that all makes sense to you. The next video, we're going to have a look again at what psychology is. We're going to talk about, is psychology a science? And then some professions where psychology is included. That's going to come along in video 2. Hopefully you've learned something today. If you want to follow, you have any questions, link, comment down below, like and subscribe. Thanks again.